There's a kind of evil that wears skin like yours. It walks like you, talks like you, laughs like it has a heart. But what's behind that charming mask isn't human. It speaks softly. Its words sound sweet, healing even, until you realize those words were weapons, disguised as comfort. Each compliment carefully laced with a hidden agenda. Each apology a setup for the next betrayal. It smiles convincingly. But behind that smile is no empathy, only calculation. You see, not everyone who looks human is. These aren't just difficult people. These aren't your average narcissists or manipulators. These are human demons, people whose presence doesn't just drain you, it corrodes you. They are destroyers of identity, masters of disguise, and architects of emotional ruin. Carl Jung once said, "The devil in the unconscious is not the shadow of man, but his fellow." These beings don't just hide in the dark. They wear the light like a costume. They study your wounds, then weaponize them. They mirror your dreams just to shatter them in slow motion. Here are 5 chilling signs you're dealing with. 1. If any of this sound familiar, run. Sign 1. They mirror you to possess you. At first, it feels magical, like you've met your twin flame. They finish your sentences, laugh at your jokes, cry with your pain. They just get you. Same music, same dreams, same childhood scars. But pause. That uncanny connection. It might not be destiny. It might be design. These kinds of people aren't interested in knowing you. They're interested in owning you. They mirror your identity, not to love it, but to hijack it. They observe you with the precision of a surgeon, studying what makes you open up and what shuts you down. They start adopting your phrases, your style, even your opinions. But it's not admiration. It's manipulation. Carl Jung once warned, "The reason for evil in the world is that people are not able to tell their stories." What does that mean here? When you haven't told yourself the truth of who you are, your inner wounds remain unguarded. And that's where they slip in, through the cracks of your unhealed self. These people project your ideal self back at you. They wear the version of you that you most admire. But the moment you're hooked, emotionally, spiritually, even sexually, they begin to twist the script. Imagine meeting someone right after a painful breakup. You're vulnerable, maybe questioning your worth. This new person shows up and says all the right things. They've never felt this way before. They understand your pain. They hate liars too. They're into the same weird indie band you thought no one else knew. You feel seen. But slowly things shift. You notice subtle guilt trips. You feel confused after conversations, like you're always the one apologizing. And yet you stay, because they knew you. Because they were you. That's the trap. By becoming everything you wanted, they bypassed your boundaries. You fell, not in love, but into submission. By the time the mask slips, you've already handed them your secrets, your trust, maybe even your passwords. They weren't mirroring you out of empathy. They were mapping your soul to control it, a deeper Jungian layer. Jung described this dynamic in his work on the persona and the shadow. These individuals weaponize the persona. They reflect back to you an ideal version of yourself. But underneath, they're hiding a disowned shadow that feeds off power, control, and fear. They're not bonding with you. They're blending into you. And once they've fully fused into your psyche, they begin to erase you. Because that was the goal all along. Not to love you, to possess you. Sign 2. Their aura feels cold, even when they smile. They light up the room when they walk in. Their smile, immaculate. Their charm, effortless. Everyone leans in, laughs louder, and feels flattered. But you notice something. A strange stillness behind their eyes. Like a fireplace with no heat. They look at you, yet you don't feel seen. They speak, yet nothing truly lands. Their words are like beautifully wrapped gifts, but when you open them, they're empty. You might find yourself laughing along, nodding, enjoying the performance, only to walk away hours later, with a dull ache in your chest, a fog in your mind, and the unshakable feeling that a part of you was taken and never returned. That feeling isn't imaginary, it's spiritual erosion, because what you experienced wasn't a conversation. It was a transaction. They didn't come to connect. They came to collect. You shared a hope. They filed it for later use. You revealed a vulnerability. They smiled wider, knowing now how to control you. In public, they play the role of the charming friend, the perfect date, the ideal boss. But in private, you'll notice their empathy is scripted, their concern rehearsed. Their touch, even if gentle, feels like fingers tracing your boundaries, not comforting your soul. Carl Jung once wrote, "There are people who have no self and instead borrow the self of others. They mirror you, but they are hollow inside." These are the hollow ones, human demons in disguise. Real-life example. Imagine you're in a relationship with someone like this. At first, they seem perfect. They say all the right things. They remember your favorite color, your childhood memory, your dream career. You think, wow, they really get me. But months pass. You start feeling small, disconnected from yourself, exhausted, even though you're doing nothing wrong. One day you express your feelings, you cry, you open up, and they smile, not in sympathy, but in quiet satisfaction. They got you to break open. Now they can reshape you. They'll never scream. They won't throw things. They'll smile, always smiling as you slowly forget who you are. Because their goal isn't to love you, it's to consume you. These are not people who lack love. They lack a soul that can love. And no matter how much you give, you can't pour water into a bottomless pit. So if someone makes you feel unsafe in subtle ways, if their presence drains you, no matter how sweet they seem, trust that inner alarm. It's not anxiety, it's discernment. Run. Because once they've gotten what they came for, your trust, your secrets, your energy, they'll walk away like you never existed. And their smile, it'll be waiting for the next soul to harvest. Sign 3. Chaos follows them like a shadow. At first, they seem magnetic, maybe even misunderstood. They pull you in with charm, vulnerability, or a story that tugs at your empathy. But if you look behind them, there's a wreckage. Start with their past. A string of broken friendships, unstable relationships, job losses, family conflict. Yet they take responsibility for none of it. They'll say, my ex was crazy. My boss was a narcissist. People are jealous of me. But when the same disaster repeats itself over and over in different places, with different people, and the only constant is them, you need to wake up. That's not coincidence. That's a pattern. And patterns reveal truth, Carl Jung once said. The healthy man does not torture others. Generally, it is the tortured who turn into torturers. Human demons, those driven by deep inner distortion, often carry unhealed emotional wounds. But instead of confronting their darkness, they project it. They drag others into it. Why? Because they don't want to suffer alone. Misery needs an audience. Pain demands company. So they become agents of chaos. Real-life situations. You invite them into your life and suddenly your friends don't talk to you anymore. Subtle wedges are driven between you and the people who love you. Your peace evaporates. You're constantly anxious, overthinking, walking on eggshells. Your goals begin to slip. You were doing well until they arrived, and now you're emotionally and mentally drained. Worst of all, you start to doubt yourself. You wonder if you're the problem. That's how skilled they are at distortion. This isn't accidental. It's spiritual. It's psychological. They feed off the destruction. It gives them a rush, a twisted sense of control. When your world burns and they're still standing, they feel powerful. It validates their inner belief. See, I control the narrative. But what they really fear is being exposed. They can't create peace, so they destroy it. They can't sustain love, so they sabotage it. They can't build, so they ruin what others build. Don't ignore the signs. When someone walks into your life and everything starts falling apart, check who's holding the match. Sign 4, they subtly kill who you are. This is the most dangerous part, because it doesn't happen all at once. There are no explosions, just slow erosion. Not a war you can see, but a silent, invisible one. At first, they cheer you on, even admire you. Your ambition excites them. Your fire draws them in. But once they have you, once they feel they own a piece of you, that same fire suddenly becomes a threat. And so begins the quiet killing of your identity. They mock your dreams, but dress it in laughter. Relax, you're not that talented. You're too sensitive. It was just a joke. You start to wonder if maybe you are overreacting. You second-guess yourself, even when your gut is screaming. They tell you how to dress, what to post, who to trust, but they say it's because they care. And if you resist, they withdraw affection. They punish you silently. So you start to comply. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. Carl Jung. But how can you accept yourself when someone keeps trying to edit you? Little by little, you abandon parts of yourself to survive the relationship. You silence your opinions to avoid arguments. You suppress your quirks to avoid ridicule. You trade authenticity for peace and call it love. One day you wake up and don't recognize yourself in the mirror. Your light has dimmed. Your laughter feels fake. Your spark is gone. And the worst part, you let it happen because you thought it was love. Let's be clear. This isn't love. This isn't care. This is psychological possession, a form of soul extraction. Real-life situations. The aspiring artist. She used to stay up painting until 2 a.m. He said it was childish, so she stopped. She hasn't picked up a brush in 2 years. The spiritual seeker. He once found peace in meditation. She mocked it as woo-woo nonsense. Now he only meditates in secret, if at all. The confident girl. She loved bold colors and big earrings. He said it made her look too much. Now she wears beige and apologizes when she laughs too loud. When you find yourself shrinking to fit someone else's comfort zone, you are not being loved. You are being erased. And here's the truth. No healthy connection will ever require you to betray yourself. Real love nourishes your soul, not steals it. So if someone is slowly dimming your essence, run before they finish the job. Sign 5. Your spirit feels sick around them. Listen closely. Your body always speaks first. Long before your conscious mind has the words to name what's wrong, your spirit already knows. You feel it in small, unsettling ways. When their name flashes on your screen, your chest tightens, your hands tremble slightly. You overthink your response, not because you care, but because something inside you is warning you. And when you're around them, the air feels heavier. Your energy drops. You become someone else, quieter, guarded, anxious. It's not because you're shy or sensitive. It's because your spirit is reacting to a predator it cannot trust. This isn't normal discomfort. This is spiritual sickness. And the most dangerous part, they may not look evil. They may even present themselves as kind, charming, or wounded. Someone just misunderstood. But underneath that mask, their energy tells a different story. It's like standing in sunlight that somehow makes you cold. You walk away from every encounter with them feeling emotionally hijacked. You question your worth. You feel confused, hollow, or strangely guilty for things you didn't even do. And sometimes you even start apologizing for your light just to keep their darkness calm. Carl Jung once said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. But with human demons, only one transforms. You change. They don't. They drain. You decay. Let's make this real. You have a friend, let's say, who always comes to you with drama. Not real vulnerability, but emotional chaos masked as sharing. You listen. You try to help. But somehow, you're the one left emotionally bruised after every conversation. They never ask about your well-being. They never celebrate your wins. And when you speak your truth, they gaslight you. They mock your feelings. They twist your words. And yet part of you feels guilty for wanting to pull away. That's how deep the spiritual manipulation runs. They're not just taking your time. They're feeding off your life force. So hear this. If someone consistently leaves your spirit sick, listen. It's not drama. It's not overreacting. It's not your anxiety. It's discernment. Because if you keep allowing them access, they'll hollow you out until you look in the mirror and barely recognize who you are anymore. And by then, it might be too late. Not for your life, but for your light. Run before they finish what they came to do. If even one of these signs made your soul shiver, you're not crazy. You're not weak. You're waking up. Because the scariest thing about a human demon is not just what they do. It's how they twist your perception until you start questioning your own reality. They don't steal your peace with a sword. They take it slowly, in silence. One manipulated conversation at a time, until you're apologizing for bleeding from wounds they created. They gaslight you into thinking you're the storm, when all along they were the quiet earthquake under your foundation. But listen, you have the right to leave. The right to reclaim your mind, your voice, your energy, and your sacred peace. So what do you do now? 1. Go silent. Don't argue. Don't explain. Don't try to expose them. They thrive on your reaction, on drawing you into their web of chaos and control. To them, your anger is fuel. Your pain is proof they still own space in your mind. Silence is not weakness. It's strategy. It's choosing not to play chess with someone who moves the pieces when you blink. Silence doesn't just confuse their ego. It protects your energy like armor. 2. Protect your energy. Block. Delete. Unfollow. Burn the bridge and bless it. Cleanse your space. Physically, emotionally, spiritually. Open windows. Light candles. Speak out loud. This connection no longer has access to my life. Even if they never hear it, your soul will. Clean out the drawer they left things in. Delete the photos. Toss out the hoodie that still smells like them. Because keeping their energy around is like leaving the back door open for the darkness to sneak back in. 3. Heal deeply. This isn't just about surviving them. It's about remembering who you were. Before they got inside your head and rearranged the furniture. Before they convinced you that your boundaries were too much. And your intuition was just overthinking. Real talk. They didn't break you. They interrupted you. So now reconnect. Read books that remind you of your power. Journal until the ink runs dry. Seek therapy or spiritual guidance. Cry in safe places. Be seen by people who don't want to use you, just love you. Carl Jung once said, "We meet ourselves time and again in 1,000 disguises on the path of life." Sometimes that human demon you met was just the version of yourself that still needed to learn how to choose yourself. Now you know better. 4. Don't go back. No matter how soft their voice is now. No matter what story they tell. No matter how perfectly they mirror the version of themselves you always hoped they'd be. They don't change. They adapt. They learn your language of healing, so they can speak it fluently the next time they come to destroy you. They wear apology like a costume. They study your boundaries just to step over them with more precision. And this time they won't just hurt you. They'll finish what they started, so don't go back. Not even for closure. Not even to be the bigger person. The closure is knowing they're no longer writing chapters in your story. You are not here to be someone's emotional feeding ground. You are not here to be drained, silenced, or rewritten. You were born with fire, born with light, born with intuition strong enough to see the demon behind the disguise. And now that you've seen it, don't unsee it. Run, and never apologize for choosing your soul over their chaos. If this hit you hard, subscribe. We're not done. Next, I'll show you how to rebuild your power. After surviving a spiritual predator, you're not alone, and you're not broken. You're becoming dangerous to darkness.